Before we begin, I wanted to tell you that the Hampton Bay Carriage House 2, San Marino, Bay Island, and Minuet 3 are still being sold on the Home Depot website. Okay, let's begin. So, number 10 is the Lyndhurst. Lyndhurst apparently is the only newer Hampton Bay fan that's good. And what I mean by newer Hampton Bay ceiling fans, I mean like Hampton Bay ceiling fans from 2011 or after that. But ones before 2011 I consider those older Hampton Bay ceiling fans. And apparently Lyndhurst blow a lot of air and they're silent as well. Really. And Lyndhurst is a childhood fan for me. I mean, going to Home Depot back when I was 5, these were really eye-catching. And the Lyndhurst is actually from 2011. So number 10 is the Lyndhurst. Number 9 is the Glendale, and Glendales are good because they're from 2008 and they blow a lot of air and they're silent. And Glendale is also a childhood fan because my aunt has 2 of them, a brushed nickel one and an oil-rubbed bronze one. And Glendales are, especially good because they're available in 52 inches and 42 inches, which is pretty cool. So number 9 is the Glendale. Number 8 is the Hawkins. And Hawkins are good because they blow a lot of air and they're silent. And they're also from 2008. So, they're one of the good ones out there. Oh, and also there's now a Hampton Bay Hawkins 2 ceiling fan. And it isn't much different from the Hawkins 1. The only difference is that the Hawkins 2 has the quick connect installation. So Hampton Bay has just improved on an older ceiling fan, an older model. So number 8 is the Hawkins. Number 7 is the Bay Island. And this is one of the ones that used to be on the displays, but is now only available online. And the Bay Island is from 2007, and they're I really like Bay Islands because they look very unique looking. I like the finish. Yeah, back in the early to late 2000s, Hampton Bay was really creative with their ceiling fan finishes. Nowadays, they've just got antique brass, polished brass, brushed nickel, oil-rubbed bronze, and white. Well, that's for the newer Hampton Bay ceiling fans, but the older Hampton Bay ceiling fans have, there's actually a lot of older Hampton Bay fans that are still available on the Home Depot website, and a lot of them have creative finishes. So the Bay Island is from 2007 as well. Yeah. So number 6 is the Minuet, and Minuets are good because they're very, of course, it's an old Hampton Bay series, and there's actually 3 generations of them. The Minuet 3 is a childhood fan for me because I remember seeing one on my first trip to the Home Depot back in 2009, and that fan really caught my attention on display. Yeah. It's not on the displays anymore, but you can still get them on the website. So, number 6 is the Minuet. Oh, and also, Minuets, of course, are silent and they blow a lot of air. Number 5 is the Carriage House, and Carriage Houses are good because they're very, very silent. Actually, both the Carriage House 1 and the Carriage House 2 are good. And no, if anyone thinks that the Carriage House 2 makes scraping noises, it just happened to Emmanuel's Carriage House 2. It's not normal for a Carriage House 2 to make scraping noises. They're usually silent, and that's because Carriage House 2s are from 2003, and that's one of the better made Hampton Bay fans out there. And you can still get the Carriage House 2 online as well. So number 5 is the Carriage House. Number 4 is the Industrial, and Industrials are good because they're they've been made for a long time, and of course, industrials blow a lot of air. First, number 3 is the gazebo, and gazebo is basically Hampton Bay's ultimate outdoor ceiling fan. Because I mean, like, gazebo is it's an outdoor name, so you can just tell it's an outdoor fan. And they're very good because they're silent and, they blow a lot of air. And, I really like them. Number 2 is the San Marino. And, the older Hampton Bay San Marinos aren't very good because they have bad capacitors. But But the newer Hampton Bay San Marinos are better because they have different switch caps than the original, different shaped switch housings than the original ones did, and so they're better quality. The new ones have the regular cylinder shaped switch housing, but the original Hampton Bay San Marino had a wide half sphere shaped switch housing, and so the newer San Marinos are much better than the older ones. So I decided to put that on the list. And number 1 is the Landmark Plus, only the 52-inch version, because the 52-inch version is silent, but the 42-inch version buzzes. So now if you were gonna put a Hampton Bay Landmark Plus on your top 10 worst Hampton Bay ceiling fans list, only put the put Landmark Plus 42-inch version, but not 52-inch version, because 52-inch versions are silent. Oh, and the Landmark Plus is from 2001 and is still being sold to this day. Very few Home Depots actually have them on the displays, very few states actually have them at the Home Depot. But you can get them online, though, if you're not in that state. I know that they're available where Emmanuel where his Home Depot is, because he lives in I actually don't know. But they're pretty cool, and the Landmarks are so Landmark Plus used to be sold in white, polished brass, and antique brass, but unfortunately the white and antique brass ones were discontinued, but the polished brass one is still being sold. And Landmark's are childhood fans for me, so that's like most of the fans in here are older Hampton Bay ceiling fans. So yeah, bye.